for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. The only way to access our low rates and save up to 70% is to call. Save hundreds on your vacation tickets by calling right now. You can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-631-1754. 800-631-1754. 800-631-1754. That's 800-631-1754.
It's the Chase! It's the Chase! Live 1 to 3, Monday through Friday on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville. Listen to Chase and his friends on WKGN. It's the Chase! It's the Scruffy City! Listen to his friends, and his friends are on WKGN. I'm always taking your calls on the Tennessee Vols. It's the Chase! It's the Chase! It's the Chase!
All right, Knoxville, the Chase is on live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. My name is Chase Thomas, joined alongside Rocky Top Insiders Ryan Schumpert. We got intern Alex Sarkis back here on a Tuesday. We've also got recruiting insider extraordinaire before noon every day. Brett Holander is here.
I was trying to help out the show, and you thought I was coming at you.
That was Ryan. If you saw this text, this man was not trying to help out the show. Him saying he would.
You didn't even. You were debating whether it was the right year.
You were over here trying to go after the discourse. You were trying to start a conversation.
I was working on your show during somebody else's show.
It was what was happening was he was baiting me here, and it was
love
unbelievable stuff.
More than I do.
I do, but I mean, I got to at least get to noon here. Like, I'm on a cup of coffee and a half when Brett's just blitzing me with all kinds of 247 Sports Tennessee recruiting updates. And I'm just like, I'm looking at this. And I'm like, what is this? And he's like, they moved down. And I figured it out. It's the 77 commits. Cause I'm like, what is this? And Tennessee's composite, like their entire roster, they have like the 15th best roster in college football, but it's the 9th best in the SEC for this year with everybody involved. All right. It's okay, Brett.
I'm fine. I took
I'll
that the wrong way.
We'll see. We're 2 weeks in.
Okay, I'm glad this has come up because I saw that this morning and I looked at it kind of just briefly before I went over to campus for press conferences. The thing that I'm confused by is like Tennessee's lower than the school or two ahead of them in the SEC. Tennessee was like 9. Mm-hmm. Their average is better. Like their average star rating is better. So why does it just have like Tennessee? Is it just because Tennessee has less scholarship players on their roster than these schools? Is it not accounting for transfer portal stuff? That's where my confusion is from having looked at it briefly.
It does look like it's counting transfers because I did see transfers on the list. I mean, Joey's on the list. There are transfers, so I don't actually know. Like I said, I've not dove into it 100% yet, and we're not on this very show as much as Brett Holander would like to draw me in at this point. But we can't do it. This is a positive Tuesday, and we're not having a meltdown over Tennessee being 9th as a.
Just think how high we would be with Samuel.
Oh my God. You might get Tristan Keys this week.
Okay, well, I'm just saying.
In fact, wouldn't even be higher with Savion because it's the players currently on the roster, so that wouldn't affect things.
Goodness gracious! Make sure, hey Alex, drop what you're doing. Make number one your top priority, logging Brett out of 247sports.com. On 3, 247, whatever you got to do. I mean, if you got to take his phone away, I don't know, but you're in charge on that side of the glass.
I'm done
here.
talking about it, Chase. We'll talk after the show.
I don't want to talk about it after the show. Why are you booking that like before the show, during the show, after the show? You're trying to trap me in all these different ways to talk all things Tennessee recruiting.
I thought it was interesting.
Embrace debate. Over there from Brett Holander.
I do think those things are interesting.
No, I do too.
Don't do this. This is how he gets you.
This is the type of thing that is usually right up your alley.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm looking at myself in the mirror. And I'm like, is this what I'm like to Ryan Schumpert and Ethan Stone sometimes? It's possible.
Yeah, no, it seems pretty accurate.
Okay. Well, anyway, Ryan Schumpert, you wrote a really great piece over there on RockyTopInsider.com here that I want to kick this Tuesday afternoon edition of The Chase off with. And it was on Fran Brown and his connection to Tennessee. So tell us about what you found and what went into this piece and why folks should check it out over there on RockyTopInsider.com.
Yeah, I mean, what went into this piece was mostly Fran Brown talking about it and his media availability to kick off the week on Monday. But just did his cousin, Rashad Baker, who I guess a number of at least listeners that are older than myself probably knew who he was. I didn't know who he was. But, he said, hey, my cousin Rashad Baker, he played at Tennessee, so I was kind of curious to look into it. And Rashad Baker was a good player at Tennessee, a 3-4-year starter in the early 2000s, had at free safety, had really good numbers, had 5 interceptions one year, 4 interceptions another. Really high-level player, did go undrafted in the NFL draft, but then went and played a number of years in the NFL. So, not just cousins, but they're both around the same age and both from the same town in New Jersey of Camden. So, I imagine those guys, at least growing up, were pretty close. So an interesting connection between Syracuse's head coach and Tennessee, a school that he doesn't really have any direct ties to, but does have a close family tie.
Yeah, and I wonder if when it comes to Fran Brown and this matchup, we assume it's not going to be a very even split between Syracuse and Tennessee fans in Atlanta, but does he have the energy where you're coming off a 10-win season where we might be surprised at the amount of Syracuse fans in the building? That is something interesting. I will say, when I'm from Atlanta, I have seen, I don't know what the crossover is, because part of it is growing up there and with Carmelo Anthony having the run he did, McNamara, and Q's basketball was at its height growing up, Johnny Flynn, that there were a lot of Syracuse basketball fans that would come in when I worked at a sporting goods store in high school. And I don't know if a lot of those were transplants. Were they just fans of Syracuse basketball because they were jumping on a bandwagon during that time? I don't know. But there might be a sneaky more amount. I'm not saying it's going to be 50-50 Tennessee-Syracuse, but I am curious if it's closer to like 70-30 Tennessee-Syracuse.
I would be surprised. I personally don't think the casual Syracuse basketball fans in 2005 necessarily translates to Syracuse football fans 2 decades later in the city of Atlanta.
There's
maybe
probably a
it'll
better
be
way
more.
to phrase that, but keep it going.
I think you did put up, I think that's a good number of like 30-70 would be surprising.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if it gets to that. I'd be surprised if it's, at the most 80-20 or 20% Syracuse fans. I just don't think there's many Syracuse football fans out there. I don't think there's many of them in the South. And, even though it was a good year last year, obviously, or a really good year even, I don't think their expectations are super high. So it would surprise me, but, maybe I'll be surprised.
Yeah, and we'll see ultimately what it looks like. I hope it's more 70-30 just because it will be a better environment. I don't want it to feel like, what was it, San Antonio a couple years ago where Tennessee played NC State late and there was like 37 people there.
Yeah, I don't think the game's going to feel like that because it's Tennessee football and the
Right.
game's in Atlanta.
I'm just saying, I don't want it to feel very like an exhibition. I don't want it to feel like a preseason game for Tennessee in the building.
The thing is, Syracuse fans are so marginal in who they're going to show up. That's not going to do anything to change that. The only thing that would make it feel that way, which is not going to. I mean, I think you might have been generous with the fans you said were at that Tennessee-North Carolina State basketball game in San Antonio, which, again, why Tennessee and North Carolina State were playing a basketball game in San Antonio, Texas is remarkable, but that's beside the point. I don't think it's going to be anything close to that. Maybe the barn won't be packed. That wouldn't shock me, but I don't think it's going to feel like an exhibition or like a high school game in that stadium would.
Yeah, I just hope it's a raucous environment because I think there might be more eyeballs because I don't know if the other guys over there on the other side of the glass here and Alex and Brett, have y'all seen the Fox YouTube TV dispute going on this week?
I was looking at that.
So if that's not resolved by Saturday at noon,
come on out to the stadium.
Well, not even just come out to the stadium. Guess who is no longer going to be able to hide in the weeds if things are going awry for Tennessee against Syracuse? Tennessee football, because fans are going to pivot if they can't watch Fox and they can't watch Texas, Ohio State. Those eyeballs that would not have been on Tennessee-Syracuse might shift over to Tennessee-Syracuse. So what we thought where Tennessee could kind of move in silence here, potentially in Saturday in anonymity, Might not if this YouTube TV Fox situation does not get resolved before kickoff on Saturday, because obviously it's the biggest game of the day. It's the same time as Tennessee, so Tennessee is able to kind of do their thing off in the distance, but they might not if that does not get resolved here by Saturday. But it seems like this is happening every year, and I would like for it to stop. This is something very silly that is just. What are we doing? Like, I understand the money aspect to it. I understand why they're doing it at this time, because there's a lot more leverage to do it the week of the start of the NFL season or the college football season, whatever. It's still gross. Like, this is still just like, what are we doing? Are we going to do this every year for the rest of our lives? Because I feel like it's been several years in a row that this has come up. And then I'm not a YouTube TV guy. I'm actually a direct TV stream guy, but and that's partly just because of the Atlanta package. Like, there's not many ways you can get the FanDuel sports package, so I can watch the Hawks, Braves, all that kind of stuff. So, but it will not affect me, but I know it will affect a whole heck of a lot of people who use YouTube TV and all that. So we'll see. Ultimately,
You're not going?
I'm not going. So, yeah, no, it was up in the air, but I do have a lot of family going, and we will report. I might get my dad in. He'll be in the building on Saturday, so I might get him to give me a call in on Monday and give us his review of what it looked like and what the vibe was like inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
YouTube TV also did this with CBS right before March Madness and like the Masters and stuff.
Was that this year too?
Yeah, I think it was, because I was like, I gotta get this going. Like,
this is crazy,
you know. So it's this isn't the first big network to have issues with YouTube TV.
That's what you love to be the big storyline. That and who's banned from inside Ohio Stadium the week of game week. Just some great off the field stuff to kick things off week one of the college football season. Just really fun stuff that we all love to have the discourse on.
I was on Rivals this morning looking at some recruiting rankings, and the top two stories were Dave Portnoy banned, and that was the top story, and then the top story was Ohio State says Dave Portnoy is not banned.
Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's Tuesday. Can we get to game week? Because I can't. And that is going to be the prevailing conversation among college football media all week. Goodness gracious. Like, what a time. When we come back, we'll continue the Tennessee conversation here. We'll talk about a whole heck of a lot of Tennessee right here on The Chase with Ryan Shepard of Rocky Top Insider in studio with us. Hendon Hooker, what's next and what to make of the Tennessee Josh Heupel scheme discourse that happened on Twitter/X last night among Tennessee and NFL media. Stick with us. It's The Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
For over 3 years, Crumble Cookies has served the Knoxville area. From Clinton Highway to Parkside Drive, even our friends out in Maryville have reached you, our fans, with the best cookies in the game. This fall, Crumble is gearing up for yet another fantastic season. Whether you're tailgating or looking for a pick-me-up after getting the kids from school, Crumble has you covered. Download the Crumble app to check out this week's rewards and features. And stop on by. Tell them Fan Run sent you, but don't miss the cookies.
Reel in a great catch with checking accounts at Citizens National Bank. You don't have to keep fishing around. CNB makes banking easy. Earn interest with rewards or open a good life and enjoy travel opportunities. If a simple and straightforward account is important to you, CNB offers that too. Citizens National Bank's checking accounts are the catch of the day. Visit cnbtn.com. Member FDIC.
Yeehaw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet. Ready to launch your career? Axel Logistics is a leading third-party logistics company where excellence is an energy.
With an award-winning culture, Axel proves that positive outcomes come from a positive environment and a work hard, play hard mentality. At Axel, the drive for success is infectious. And with an uncapped commission structure, hard work isn't just noticed, it's rewarded. For those with big goals and even bigger dreams, Axel Logistics is the place to start your career.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
I was dancing with my darling to WKGN 1340.
All right, Brett. Good feeling by 311 here. Is it helping?
Of course, Chase. I'm going to calm it down over here.
There's nothing calming it down. It's game week.
I'm excited, man.
I don't know. Alex, you'll have to be the judge on that side of the glass.
I'm just excited that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are now engaged.
We were just talking about that off air here in terms of that development. My wife, big Taylor Swift fan. So
I'm a Taylor Swift fan.
Are you?
To admit, yeah.
Okay.
I was at the Eras tour. A few years
Wow.
ago.
I'm jealous.
It was awesome.
I see. I can't say I'm a Swiftie because I think to be a Swiftie, you have to care about all the non-music parts, and I don't have the energy for that. Those people are crazy, with all due respect.
I wouldn't consider myself like one of the crazy Swifties, but I enjoy her music.
Yeah, the music's good.
Yeah.
I like the music. I just can't keep up with everything.
The
deep dives
exactly.
they're doing.
Everything else is
scavenger
crazy.
hunts. It's too much for me.
Yeah.
It's not for me. I'm not the target audience. I'm a jazz guy.
Oh my.
that was a very genuine, incredible reaction. Oh my. Like, I don't think there's a lot of, because you're Gen Z, I guess, right, Alex?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of overlap between John Coltrane and Gen Z. Is my guess.
I would not say so.
Chase, are you one of the people that gets? I feel like you're not one of the people that gets upset when they show Taylor Swift on the game. Yeah, those people also are crazy.
Yeah,
who cares?
They've already done the math. It's like 7 seconds of a game. Like, what drives me more nuts is the amount of commercials over the course of a 3.5-4 hour NFL game. It's not there's Taylor Swift in the box celebrating with person X. That just doesn't move the needle. It's fine.
That's why you watch Red Zone, right?
I don't watch Red Zone.
What?
Red Zone's not for me. Like, I'm not the
Lord.
So Red Zone is another thing.
Jazz music and no Red Zone?
So I am a one at a time person. Like, my brain does not function on like trying to, like, I'm not a multitasker. Like, I'm reading one book a day. So like right now I'm reading The Dynasty by Jeff Benedict on the Patriots run. I cannot read multiple books at once. I can't do multiple assignments at once.
He's not a very productive person.
No, I'm actually extremely productive. I'm just extremely productive one thing at a time. I don't do multiple things at one time. I don't believe that I am capable at all of multitasking. So, yeah, I can't.
I love how the topic under multitasking is watching Red Zone.
Red Zone, you have to be able to multitask. You have to be able to like look at different games.
You put it on the channel and it does it for you.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
You don't flip to the game because
my brain, I retain.
Plus, you're watching the Falcons.
I'm watching the Falcons from the beginning to the end. And it's great. I know everything that happened. And I have a full retain. Like, I have my notepad as I'm taking notes throughout the game, seeing who's doing what I like, what I don't like. I'll be doing that for Tennessee at noon. I will not be watching 1 second of Texas and Ohio State live. I will be watching Tennessee, Syracuse from kickoff till the game is over. And then I will watch Texas, Ohio State later, watch what I need to watch. It's going to be recorded, but I will watch that individually. When I watch the Hawks and the Braves or whoever in the morning, you know how this is how I break up Braves baseball.
But you're done watching Braves baseball, right? Okay.
Hurston Waldrop's killing it right
I
now.
love that guy, but I could go into a big just glaze fest on Waldrop.
Waldrop's great, but
hold
I do need Spencer Strider, local Knoxville legend, to turn it around. I feel bad for him. The velo's got to come back because it's been hard for Spencer coming back from 2 big time elbow
Shut
deals.
him down. There's no sense in him pitching.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully he regains his form next year because elite Spencer Strider is a lot of fun.
Absolutely,
a lot of fun. But neither here nor there. The big point here is, as the listeners learn, Jazz guy, but also not a red zone guy. I understand that I'm in the minority for both of those takes, but red zone, I don't think you learn anything from red zone. I feel like red zone is for gambling and
but you're just complaining about commercials.
fantasy.
That's why I brought it up.
Oh,
you're saying
But
I hate
see,
commercials.
you're acting like you're going to sit here and grind a tape of all 13 to 15 NFL, 16 NFL games on a given Sunday.
No.
And that's just, that's just not true.
No, I'm not doing it, but I will watch like 10 to 15 minute like recaps of the games I don't watch on YouTube. Like they do some good 10 to 15 minutes, and I read the box scores, I read the AP, I read the different team blogs.
You're not
on
doing
SB
this
Nation.
for every game on the Sunday, though.
Yeah, every game.
No, this is a lie.
It's not a lie.
I simply do not believe this.
What do you mean?
I mean what I mean.
What part
You
do you
are
not-
not doing it. You are not watching the 15-minute YouTube video of every single NFL game.
There are not that many. You think it's a lot more than it is. It doesn't take that long.
Let's just say, for instance, it's 10. It feels like that's what it is on
Okay.
most weeks. A week there's not a lot of buys.
Okay.
That would be really setting myself up to do math here, but that'd be 150 minutes. Right, 2.5 hours. I don't buy that you're doing that. And you also, you said you do the game recaps too.
I do the game recaps.
Yeah, again, I don't believe this.
So I do that one. I think I probably, if I had to do one, what's more accurate than the other, like what's more consistently accurate, it's the game recaps, because I love my game recaps. I love reading the AP. I love reading the team blogs. I love reading different Substacks or different fans of teams who cover it, like all kinds. I dive into that. Like I love reading about that, and I get a full picture.
So you're reading about like the Browns game versus whoever.
Oh, 100%.
The Jag. I don't
Dogs
know.
by Nature over there on SB Nation. Yeah, I'm reading it.
Series even at me over here.
That's what's happening. I like. You know what I want more of? More blogs. Bring back blogs. I grew up in the blog era. The Gen Zs are going the wrong way. They're doing the podcast. Like every Gen Z is jumping in the podcast front, and I need you to go back to blogs.
That's an unbelievable shot.
Make your living.
I love blogs. I grew up on Grantland, and Grantland was the best website. Do you even know Grantland, Alex?
No.
See?
Oh, you know what? You know what we do, because we looked in class today. We actually looked at a Grantland article.
Did you really?
We did. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was?
It was it was like something about politics and sports. It was like
Interesting.
Yeah.
Grantland was Bill Simmons, the Podfather, founded Grantland with ESPN 15 years ago now, but the best collection of sports writers of all time.
Well, then I'll definitely check it out. Because
It's still alive. They kept it up, and you can go back and read the old pieces. The whole archive is still on grantland.com. But yeah, no, that's what I grew up. ESPN the magazine, long story. Like I love
the magazines.
Yeah, Sports Illustrated. I'm a big reader. That's what I got into all of this first. It's like I love to read, and I read often, and that's my idea. That's my idea. I read and talk about sports. Read about sports, talk
Good
about
to
sports.
get to know you, Chase.
Yeah, there you go. So naturally, bringing it back to Tennessee football here, and this actually, we're talking NFL, and this actually kind of goes hand in hand. Hendon Hooker. So there is, because nuance is often lost on social media, I think reading through the threads, and I know all y'all have looked at this, and I think some friends of mine have responded to the narrative surrounding Josh Heupel's offense and scheme and what that means to the NFL. Ted Gwynn, who does a really great job covering the NFL, big scheme guy. I think he's like a high school coach too, if I'm not mistaken. But he got a lot of flack last night. Quincy Avery, quarterback's coach, he also got a lot of flack when it came to their, I would say, educated observations on Tennessee's offense and how it prepares those guys for the next level. So I think two things can be true here. One is that playing for Josh Heupel was a great thing for Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton's careers. That Joe Milton was, I mean, you saw how it ended at Michigan. Who knows if he ends up South Carolina, wherever, like, does he even get drafted in the NFL? I don't know. Maybe someone takes a chance, like John Reed said, Talk Sports this morning, or Hendon Hooker, if he stays at Virginia Tech. I don't think he probably gets drafted. I don't think Hendon Hooker, it's easy to forget, was a borderline. If he doesn't get hurt, might have been a first round pick. You read the NFL mocks. I think he was getting mocked in the first round to the Minnesota Vikings at the time. And he ended up like he was getting mocked in the first, second, third. Like he looked like a potential late first round. He got a lot of late first round buzz as we got closer to draft time in 2023, and didn't happen. It hasn't gone well, but there's all kinds of different circumstances, and I really hope Hendon Hooker finds the right fit. Ryan, you and I were talking last night. I hope the Vikings are the team that actually picks him up and gives him a shot. You have Max Brosmer, Carson Wentz. You already really know what you have in Carson Wentz. Maybe you give Hendon Hooker a practice squad spot, but you clearly liked him. There had to be some buzz between the Vikings FO and Kevin O'Connell, one of the best QB coaches in the sport. Let him sit and learn and just some more time there and see what you have potentially in Hendon Hooker. But the conversation of, well, these guys obviously benefited from going to Tennessee because they got drafted. One of the weird things, I shouldn't even say weird, one of the most interesting things about Tennessee in the Heupel era thus far is that in the last 5 years, only Ohio State has had more guys drafted at receiver in the NFL than Tennessee. Tennessee's had Velus Jones. They've had Cedric Tillman. They've had Jalen Hyatt. They've had Dante Thornton.
Does this go back to like Palmer and Jennings?
I don't
feel like
think
it would have to if they're in second.
Maybe. It's a good question. Was Jennings and Palmer the same year?
Yeah, they both would have been in the... Palmer would have been in 21 draft. I guess Jennings would have been in 2020 draft. I guess Palmer and Callaway been in the same? I guess Callaway and Jennings were 2020 and Palmer was the 2021 draft.
Right. And they're there. I mean, Cedric Tillman is a starter for the Cleveland Browns. Dante Thornton is a starter for the Las Vegas Raiders. I understand part of it which is that this offense, I mean, you go back to the Art Briles, Baylor stuff, like Bryce Petty obviously did not work out at the NFL level, but he was an electric offense. And there is a fine line between winning a whole heck of a lot of football games, playing a certain style, which is what Heupel's job is. Heupel's job is to win as many college football games at the University of Tennessee as humanly possible. But you got to remember, like, my biggest thing, and Brett's going to love this, when I start to worry about the narrative from NFL scouts and NFL folks who know what they're talking about, like Ted Gwynn is he knows far more about football than I do. The thing that I will start to worry about in terms of the Heupel era is if recruiting starts to shift because of for Josh Heupel and where things are headed. I need to see something drop off in recruiting for me to be like, uh-oh, this is a problem. Heupel might have to adjust because ultimately it's not Heupel's job for these guys to develop at the NFL level. But Jalen Wright, 3rd round guy, Dylan Sampson, 3rd round guy, Hendon Hooker, 3rd round guy. Like, they are putting a bunch of offensive players in the NFL. And when Georgia fans dunk on Tennessee for the Heupel scheme and this, that, and the other, it's like, I mean, all you have is Stetson Bennett thus far in the Kirby era at quarterback, who's made it, and he's still a backup. And we'll see if Hendon Hooker doesn't get it on with another NFL roster. But I think I would still bet towards Hendon Hooker finding somewhere, at least for one more year, to see what he can do. And then you still have 2. And Joe Milton, we'll see what he ultimately does. But did Heupel deserve credit for solving some of Joe Milton's limitations? I think Joe Milton was a better quarterback leaving Tennessee than he was a better quarterback leaving Michigan. And Michigan ran a full pro style. Like, I think Heupel did a better job with Joe than Jim Harbaugh did with Joe in that pro style scheme. So I think I understand both sides, and I understand that Tennessee fans are very protective of Heupel in the scheme. I mean, he's won 30 games. He's been a great coach. That's all true. But there is some nuance to be had about, like, hey, with Heupel and Tennessee could really use Dante Thornton to break out this year as a rookie wide receiver for the Raiders. They could really use Cedric Tillman to have a really good year for the Cleveland Browns. They could really use Jalen Wright to have a great breakout year in Miami on offense, because defensive line, like Byron Young, is a player for the Los Angeles Rams. He's a success story. You have success stories on the defensive side of the ball. You don't really, to me, that is where you just need a couple of those guys to hit. But again, I think the whole thing is very overblown. But when recruiting starts taking a hit because of these issues that NFL scouts and guys like that look at this Tennessee offense, then I'll reevaluate. But until that happens, and until that permeates its way down to Knoxville, I'm not going to worry about it.
Well, I think it's a 2-part thing. The first part, yeah, I think it definitely hurts them some. I mean, I think the original post yesterday of like the learning curve is larger for these guys, and I think that's different. I think that's greater at quarterback than it is at receiver, even though receivers are asked to do more and are doing more things, which makes it more challenging. But I don't think we have a large enough sample size to act like it just kills them or it just makes it impossible or anything like that. And then, yeah, to your recruiting side of it, like this is an oversimplified thing, but you look at recruiting in EA college football. There are multiple topics. There are multiple things that matter to these kids. So pro potential and the ability is this system an issue going to the pros is just one of many things that matter. And again, it's not like Tennessee's not putting anyone to the pros in those levels. And you're right. I think it would be big for Thornton or Tillman, one of these guys to become a legit high quality starter would probably go a long way. So it's not like it's just, while maybe the learning curve is larger and maybe it hurts their development a little bit when they get to the NFL. It's not like it just kills it. And it's not like Tennessee's not putting guys in the NFL. So I think when you combine that thing that most players aren't just looking at this, and two, it's, Tennessee is still putting guys in the pros. It's just not going to kill them a ton. Quarterback's where you worry about, but that's also the position where you are going to invest the most money in, whether that is high school recruiting or whether that is portal. And I think when you are willing to invest a lot of money, that for maybe not every kid, there may be some kids that it doesn't matter how much you offer them, they aren't going to go to Tennessee because they worry about the system getting them to the NFL. But my guess, you're going to not have too difficult of an issue finding at least one at a position where you play one player and you take one player typically a class. You're not going to have a hard time finding one guy that's willing to go play an offense that, for the most part, is produced at a pretty high level in college and, is willing to pay you a good amount of money.
And I just wouldn't take it personally. It just feels like a lot of fans are taking the Tennessee offense dissection from NFL figureheads personally, where I don't think it matters. Like, who cares? Tennessee's in a great spot. They might have a top 10 class. We'll see where things land with Tristan Keys this week. You might flip Tristan Gibbons, Hezekiah Harris. Like, we'll see down the stretch on that front at the Leo spot. Things are really good. You have Faison Brandon coming in here in December. Like, things are really good. It's not a big deal if really adjust some stuff. But until then, who cares? Like, that is not Heupel's job. That is not the staff's job. They are making good money now to play here. They play at a high level. Heupel and his staff have made a lot of guys a lot of money because they have soared in this game at the bat. And the other part is, like, NFL teams can have these concerns, and I guarantee you there are NFL GMs, scouts, and whoever have that kind of share that sentiment that Ted has about Tennessee's offense. And yet, Thornton gets drafted, Jalen Hyatt gets drafted, Cedric Tillman gets drafted. They're still taking flyers on these guys. They're still taking chances on these receivers who play in this game because they have to value it in some way.
If there's something that you want to get upset about the scheme about and the limitations of that, I'd start with the inability to do anything against Georgia's defense. I wouldn't care about players having a little bit of a harder time adjusting to the NFL, but still making rosters and being fine players. Like, that's, if you don't want to be worried about scheme, I'd be much more worried about the fact that look, things are about to change with the scheduling model. Since he's not going to play Georgia every year, most likely, it'll be a shocker. But I'd worry about the top team in the SEC you've played for 4 years with the scheme and haven't been able to do anything against. That's what I'd be worried about.
Can I ask you about? So, did you guys think Hooker, if he didn't get hurt, could be a starter in the NFL?
I never thought he'd be a starter.
Because I look at it as quarterback's the hardest position to play when you get to the NFL.
Yeah.
It's easier in college.
Mm-hmm.
Skill positions, they're always needing the NFL. So the guys that are there from Tennessee, the running backs, the wide receivers we've had, I'm not surprised. They're athletic. They're big. They can move. And that's what the scouts and NFL teams love. But when it's just a different game as a quarterback. Quarterbacks don't hit. Saban doesn't have many quarterbacks in the league. Like Kirby doesn't, things like that. So the best college coaches, the most important position in the field did not translate to the NFL. Quarterback's a much more difficult thing, and I'm personally not surprised that Hooker possibly didn't make it. I didn't have the arm strength. Guys are running wide open. He's accurate, but guys are running wide open in NFL or in college. That's not Heupel's problem. His scheme worked in 22, and people fell in love with Milton because of his size, his arm, and things like that. So that's not surprising either.
Yeah.
Even though he wasn't as good a quarterback in college as Hooker.
Yeah.
So, you can look at it both ways. I think the scheme over the last couple of seasons has struggled for Heupel. I think he's got to adjust this year. But, but quarterback's just hard.
I think that's where the sample size of it gets tough.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, okay, 2 quarterbacks haven't been great. It's not like, Milton's been fine. You could easily find 2 quarterbacks from any school that it would make it in a 4 or 5 year stretch and wouldn't be great. So everybody just points to the system, which I think is understandable because people had questions about the system to begin with. And then when guys don't go in and just buck that trend or get a point to that, and maybe that is it. I think I think it does make it a little bit harder. But it's not like that's the only
great
issue.
Quarterbacks in college. Landry Jones, Drew Lock, Dylan Gabriel for a season. We'll see what he turns out to be. But yeah, he's a college coach.
And look, Drew Lock's been fine. He's one of the 40 best quarterbacks in the world, probably top 10 backup, I would think.
Big Jeezy fan. You know what I'm talking about, Alex.
Talking about, yeah.
Oh, the clip of him.
Yeah.
Denver on the sideline. Yeah, it's a great clip.
When we come back, we'll continue the conversation on Tennessee's depth chart, where Josh Heupel, you're not going to believe this, kept it close to the vest on Monday's press conference. So we're going to make our projections here on where things stand on Tennessee's football depth chart on Saturday morning. Stick with us. It's a Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app.
Check out our new and improved website at fanrunradio.com.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your home exterior needs. If your home needs new siding, windows, doors, gutters, handrails, a deck, or a new roof, then give my friends at North Knox Siding and Windows a call at 865-689-0505. You can also visit their showroom at 5618 North Broadway. Locally owned and operated and proudly serving all of Knoxville and the surrounding areas, North Knox Siding and Windows. Online at northknoxsidingandwindows.com.
Hello, is Tina there?
Who's this?
Yeah, this is Vince from the hit reality show Wives Don't Tell. Tina applied for our show to confess that her husband won't go to the doctor to get his erectile dysfunction checked. She said she's ready for a guy that can bring the heat.
All right, what the is going on? You're talking to her husband right now? Tina!
Well, she wrote the application that her man's performance is questionable. She's basically married to a coffee table. She also said, we live within driving distance to Men's Pro Knoxville, but he's too scared to get a blood test.
Oh my, she is done. She is so done.
Gotcha, Mike. It's Nephew Tommy. Ain't no reality show. It's a prank. Men's Pro Knoxville is the real deal, fellas. Local experts, test results in minutes. Call 865-544-8220 or hit men'sproKnoxville.com before your lady books a new co-star. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
Next week is your last chance to see your Knoxville Smokies in action this season.
No way.
Join us for our final all-you-can-eat Wednesday. Less than $30 gets you into the game and all the food your stomach can handle. We also have Thirsty Thursday with half-off draft beers, fireworks Friday and Saturday nights, and Fan Appreciation Day on Sunday with free prizes given out during the game. It's your last chance, so get those tickets now at SmokiesBaseball.com.
Have you ever found yourself wishing your clothes looked brand new again? Whether it's your favorite suit, that little black dress, or your comfy winter coat, Crown Cleaners can make it happen. From stubborn stains to delicate fabrics, the expert team at Crown Cleaners uses the latest cleaning technology to ensure your clothes come back looking and feeling fresh. Visit one of their 2 area locations, Kingston Pike on Bearden Hill or South North Shore Drive near Dunkin' Donuts. Online at crowncleaners.com. Crown Cleaners, a tradition of excellence.
It's football time in Tennessee, so crack open a cold beer that doesn't fumble the flavor. Garage Beer is 100% beer-flavored beer. No gimmicks, just cold beer. Built for bonfires, backyards, and beating Bama. Garage Beer is proud to be brewed right here in the Volunteer State. So pick up a 12-pack today and look for the drive celebrating Football Fridays at select Garage Beer headquarters around town this fall. American-owned, Tennessee-brewed Garage Beer. 100% beer-flavored beer.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
It's the Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. Also streaming on YouTube. Make sure you check us out. Join the live stream. Fan Run Sports there. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Over 1.5 thousand subs and growing more and more each and every day. Check us out over there on the YouTube stream as well. You can call us. Join the conversation. 865-966-3435 is a way to be a part of today's show. 865-966-3435 is a way to jump in with Ryan Shempert of Right Top Insider in studio with us on a Tuesday. Alex Sarkis and Brett Hoolander on the ones and twos as well. Packed house here on a Tuesday. We're 4 days away. Mike Matthews days away from Tennessee, Syracuse, Saturday in the Dome. I didn't even ask. Brett, are you and Alex going to the game on Saturday?
Be there.
You'll be there.
I will be there.
There you go. Brett, are you going?
I will not.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, it's my first time at Mercedes-Benz, so I'm very excited to see that place.
It's a good venue. I've only been a couple times, but I will say, been to the Dome many a times. Have not been to Mercedes-Benz as much. I don't really have a great reason. I think you just got older. Like when you're younger, you just go like have a Keith Brookings signed helmet back in the day. So really deep cut there for all the Georgia Tech Atlanta Falcons crossover heads here on this fine Tuesday afternoon. But yeah, it's a nice stadium. Parking can be a little bit dicey, like getting over there. Like State Farm Arena and MBS is a little bit complicated. Not a lot of great parking spots.
I don't know if we have a parking pass for the Beacon. I hope we do.
Okay. That
we probably don't.
Plan ahead. If I would give you one piece of advice here, Alex, plan ahead on parking. And if you're staying, are you staying somewhat close to downtown, or are y'all just driving the same day?
Well, we're staying in our buddy's apartment, so I'm not sure where he lives.
Find out where he is.
20 minutes out or something.
I would Uber.
Oh, God. Okay.
I would Uber. It will save you a lot of headache. I would do that.
Okay.
I would get ahead of it because they just drop you off in front and you don't have to worry about where to park and the backup. And I don't know what else is going on Saturday afternoon downtown. But if there's something else going on outside of just Tennessee, Syracuse, it can get very convoluted and a mess in a hurry. So I don't know. That's what I would do if I was going. Like I don't know. My dad and the brothers. I bet you they're taking MARTA. I bet you they're going to park somewhere and take MARTA. It's my guess.
I took MARTA to the 2007 SEC championship game.
There you go. Good experience?
Yeah, till fourth quarter.
Oh, well. I have not been on a MARTA in a long time. But when we consider here the Tennessee football depth chart, Josh Heupel does not tip his hand at all, outside of maybe Boo Carter a little bit in terms of we now expect him to play. I saw a VolQuest message board title kind of sharing what I've been preaching here over the last several days in terms of he is on the NIL payroll. Like we're now in the player revenue, or we are now in the team revenue era, $20.5 million paying players. He's on the team and he's not suspended. Boo Carter should be playing 50 snaps at star on Saturday. And I heard Tim Banks.
Don't think. No, you got it.
I think he has to play. No matter what, he has to be your starting punt returner. Like, without question. Ryan, you and I were laughing about it last night, but like the one thing that will ruin the Vol Sports Guy group chat on Saturday afternoon is if there is any inkling Boo Carter is not allowed to do anything fun on punt returns where he's having to, he's technically out there, but he's like fair catching it before anyone's anywhere close to him. That might actually send me over the edge. Like Boo Carter better be allowed to cook on special teams if you're going to put him back there, but there's no better option. Like you can't put Braylon and Mike back there with how thin you are at receiver. Jamad's obviously not out there. Squirrel was your other guy. He's gone. So I don't really know who else you could throw outside of Boo back there. And again, it might come down if Steve Angeli's cooking. Like if Syracuse offense is fun, you might need Boo Carter to swing this game. You might need a big time Boo Carter punt return to kind of get Tennessee's offense going if Tennessee's offense is struggling early on. Boot Carter, he's your best player. He's your best playmaker on this team. He is someone that is on this team as of August 22nd or 26th. He should be playing as much as humanly possible on Saturday. I hope he's not going to be at the starter at star on Saturday. It seems like that'd be a huge upset if he's with the first team defense on Saturday. Whatever. But you sprinkle him in. Maybe you do a reverse Christian Harrison Boot Carter from a year ago, where Christian starts and then you gradually work Boot Carter in there, and then you're like, oh right, Boot Carter is an exceptional player and one of our best players, so let's make sure he gets those snaps back.
I would agree with your point that if he isn't suspended, he should play on defense. I would not say 50 snaps. I think Jalen McMurray is a far superior player to Christian Harrison. I think you can't convince me that the gap between Boot Carter and Jalen McMurray is sizable, to be honest. I think Jalen McMurray is a good player. I think Boot Carter is a good player too. And, he has the potential to be a great player in time. I don't know if I feel confident that he made those steps to get to a great player by this season, certainly to the start of the season. But that's why you play. That's why you're going to go out there and play him. If he's not suspended, he should be playing at least 30 snaps. And if he really is one of your best players on the team, then yeah, obviously you're going to play him a lot more, and he's going to become a guy playing 60, 70 snaps a game. I just don't think I'm necessarily. I wouldn't predict that to be the case. Wouldn't be shocked, but wouldn't predict it.
Hypebolt's not asking my opinion, but my opinion is Boot Carter should be playing like 80 plus snaps on Saturday.
Saturday bench him for ETSU.
Wait, say it again.
Suspend him for ETSU.
There you go.
We call that the Urban Meyer.
That's what Michigan does with their coaches. They suspend them for the not so big games, right?
Do you know what I also wonder about? Where because it's the summer and there's not real games happening, like even if you're one of the teammates of Boo, you're like, I'm not sure where I stand with Boo Carter with the summer. What happened this summer with Boo, the disappearance and all that kind of stuff. I think it's like one of those things where if you're one of those players who still are kind of on the fence, actual live game action, the bullets are flying, and then Boo Carter's out there and Boo Carter's making plays, and you're like, okay, the games are happening. It's not talking season. I need Boo Carter on the football field with me because he makes my life easier and he makes us a better football team.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's winning cures all.
Yes.
Like it's someone out there playing well. You can look past things. It's obviously the old Cowboys teams have been in the news because of the Netflix documentary, but I think it's in one of those football lives where, Jimmy Johnson, someone's sleeping in a meeting and he kicked him off the team and cut him. And then next day, Michael Irvin was sleeping in a meeting and he said, hey, someone go wake Michael up. Like it's your standards are different for how good players are. And if Boo Carter is out there playing at the level that I think you expect him to play at, Chase, then yeah, he needs to be out there playing a ton. And I think his teammates will very much look past his discretions from the offseason.
Yeah. Like you let it roll. And then if there's another mess up, whatever, then you move forward. And like, that's how it is. But until that happens, and I hope that doesn't happen, Boo Carter should be a big, big part of this football team starting on Saturday in Syracuse. Ryan, you did your offensive and defensive depth chart preview a couple days ago, and I want to run through it here. Joey Aguilar, Jake Merklinger, George McIntyre at quarterback. No surprises there. Running back, you have Deshaun Bishop starting. Number 2 at Star Thomas. Number 3, Peyton Lewis. This is the first one that I was surprised. Do you want to change that here on this Tuesday? Okay.
I think you could.
Where's your oars, man? Where's your oars?
Well, that's the thing. If there was ever a spot that I would truly rank oars,
absolutely.
It is running back.
1A, 1B.
Yeah, because to me that feels that way. And look, I still am highest on Peyton Lewis, who I have third on that depth chart. I would still pick him to be the guy that ends the year with the most yards for Tennessee. But I think Deshaun Bishop, to me, is the veteran in that room, the guy that they trust, the guy that's going to be out there for the first drive, in my opinion. And I've just heard more Star Thomas buzz from what's happened in preseason practice and in scrimmages to think that he probably gets the next crack at it. But, that's to me, it's maybe not fascinating because I don't know how much it changes how many games Tennessee wins this year, but I'll just be really curious to see how all that shakes out.
I would be surprised if Peyton Lewis is number 3. I think Star is hey, this worked out better than we anticipated out of Duke in the portal, where it's like we've got 3 guys we really trust, that if Bishop, who has not been able to stay healthy in 2 years, like if he gets banged up, Stars, we feel great that we can still have a 1-2 punch with Lewis and Star Thomas. Like, I just think Star's the guy that you have as that veteran. Hey, if Lewis or Bishop need a breather or they're banged up, then we go to Star. And it's just this like, oh man, this guy's 24 years old. He's built like a rock, and he's just someone defenses like Syracuse might not want to handle in the third quarter when he's fresh. And you're going up and you're like, oh man, who is this? Oh, goodness gracious. This guy almost ran for 1,000 yards at Duke last year. And they're just throwing him out there when we're already breaking down. We've taken a lot of shots in the first 2 quarters from Peyton and Deshaun Bishop. So I don't know. I would tend to lean. I would be floored if Bishop's not the first running back out there on Saturday, but I'll go ahead and say I think Peyton Lewis leads Tennessee in snaps at running back on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. Obviously, that wouldn't be my pick. I think it'll probably be Bishop. But again, I don't think anything from that rotation with those 3 guys would surprise me a whole lot.
Chris Brazzell, Braylon Staley, Mike Matthews, no surprises there for your projected starters. Another one, though, I thought was pretty interesting that you have here. Deshaun Brame, number 2. Ethan Davis, number 3.
Yeah.
This would be super fascinating. I mean, it's one of those deals where Ethan Davis has a lot of pressure on him this year. There are some guys where it's like a make or break year. I think Mike is a make or break guy at wide receiver in terms of he's a long-term fit at this program. I think it's a make or break year for Ethan Davis, right? If Ethan Davis breaks out, he's probably your starter next year too. It's all great. And he has a great 2 years as one of Tennessee's primary contributors at tight end and off to the NFL. But if he doesn't have that kind of year, you have Deshaun Brame and Jack Van Dorselaer right behind him, and they are probably stepping into that role going into next year. And you probably have to portal no matter what. I think a tight end because you don't. Just with the numbers, my guess is you're going to have to take another portal tight end this winter. But I do think that would be super interesting if Deshaun Brame, that first 12 personnel look, we all are expecting Ethan Davis and Miles Kitselman, but what if it's actually Deshaun Brame and Miles Kitselman?
Yeah, I just think from the buzz that I've heard, Deshaun Brame has made more plays in fall camp than Ethan Davis. So is Ethan Davis a significantly better blocker in which that it makes up for that and you're going to play the more veteran guy? That's certainly possible, but it's not like Ethan Davis has necessarily showed us in 2 years that he is a good blocker that they trust as a blocker. So I'm sure he's ahead of Brame, I would assume, from a blocking standpoint, but I don't know how far that is, and especially for an offense that's going to be searching for pass catchers to be making plays. I almost, you got to go see it on the field in games, but I almost like what Brame has done or what Brame can give them there more compared to Davis.
When we come back, we'll do the second half or the defensive side of the ball when it comes to Tennessee's depth chart preview. And then we'll dive into some Tennessee 2026 men's hoops recruiting with our Tennessee basketball insider, Ryan Shempert of RockyTopInsider.com with us in studio on this Tuesday. Stick with us. It's The Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app.
Follow us on Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it these days at Fox Sports Knox, Fox Sports Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Looking for your go-to spot to unwind, enjoy great food, and sip something new? Then head over to the Casual Pint North Shore, where the craft beer is always rotating, the food hits the spot, and the vibe is just right. Join Fan Run Radio for our first Football Friday broadcast of the year, live this Friday from 3 to 6 at the Casual Pint North Shore. Plus, check out brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 with awesome bites and the perfect pour to start your weekend. Not into beer? They've got wine and craft cocktails too, including favorites like the Old Fashioned and Espresso Martini. And don't miss the Ales for All's Passport Challenge. Visit 6 of 9 participating locations and earn a limited edition t-shirt while supporting the Alzheimer's Association. The challenge ends August 31st, so act quickly and support a good cause. Get all the details at northshore.thecasualpint.com and make your next hangout the Casual Pint North Shore. Got a flat tire? Strange noise under the hood? Don't stress. Roll into Matlock Tire and Auto Service. From oil changes and brake repairs to brand new tires, Matlock's certified techs do it all. Fast, friendly, and fair priced, Matlock is the home of the price match guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad and Matlock will match the exact same tire for the exact same price. Matlock Tire and Auto Service, 5 locations in East Tennessee. Visit matlocktireservice.com to find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment.
Yo, 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 what is up with it, homies? Talk Sports, that's the show you want. It's the longest running sports radio morning show in town. You want your radio shows to be fun, and that's what Talk Sports is. Fun, fun, fun. No weirdo callers. I think Tennessee gonna go 6-6 this year. No nerdy guests. Well, their receiver depth is a little bit thin. Just two of the most entertaining guys in town, and Bubba giving you what you need. Tune in 7 to 10 a.m. every weekday here on Fan Run Radio.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
The Tennessee Volunteers kick off the 2025 season against Syracuse on Saturday, and the Fan Run radio crew will be watching the game at Barley's in the Old City. You should watch it there with us, too. Kickoff is at noon, and we'll be there before that getting fired up for the season opener. Food, drinks, football, and fun. We hope to see you there.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess. But isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
It's the Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. Kicking off hour number 2 right here on the Chase. Full house. We got Rocky Top Insiders, Ryan Shumpert in studio with us. We got Alex Sarkis interning over there, along with producer Brett Hollander. Thank you for jumping in to hour number 2 right here, 1 to 3, Monday through Friday, right here on the Chase. If you want to join us, you can call, text us, 865-966-3435 is the way to do so. As we continue on here, Ryan Shumpert, the depth chart preview that people can go check out over there on RockyTopInsider.com. You projected the defensive side of the ball as well. I think there's less question marks in this group, especially at Leo. You have Josh Josephs, probably a Jordan Ross, Caleb Herring, what I would project on Saturday. That's an or. That's an early or. Sure.
Basically, all of these are going to be.
Well, I don't know.
On the depth chart.
I don't think there's going to be an or for the. Oh, well, let's see. So Bryson Easton, Jackson Moy, both no ors there. They're going to be starting. I think Dominic Bailey is an absolute not or.
There will be an or there.
Do you think so with the way Rodney Garner's talked about him?
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. So it's an or. Do you think it's 3 ors? Bailey, West, and Weathersby?
It wouldn't surprise me. Definitely Bailey West. It'll be 3 ors at Leo.
Okay. And then we have what's changed, and you wrote about this. It's behind Eason and Moy that's super interesting now because David Hobbs out of the picture for a couple weeks here. Jamal Wallace, senior JUCO transfer. Is it true freshman Ethan Utley out of Bensworth? Is it redshirt sophomore who looks like $1 million Nathan Robinson? Is it Isaiah Campbell, the 5-star interior freshman that we're all extremely excited about? Great interview. Isaiah Campbell, future leader at Tennessee. I don't know. I don't know where they go in the interior without David Hobbs. And like we talked about last week, I can't wait to track what the rotation looks like there. But I do think that'll be really interesting to see who's where. And I mean, you'll get around it, I guess, with the oars for the interior side of things, but I am curious what that looks like. And then linebacker, I think that's very obvious in your top 4, and Arian Carter and Jeremiah Teenlander. And then I wonder if they do it. Could we see a surprising or Edwin Spillman or Jeremiah Teenlander? Could we see that?
I think that's possible. Yeah. I just don't. I think any or is possible at just about any position.
Interesting.
That's just how they've always done it. They don't, and the reason we didn't get one on Monday, in my opinion, no one specifically told me this, but in my opinion, it's not because they want to hide it from the media. It's just that they don't want to upset people. They don't want to upset people's agents. They don't want to upset people's families. They don't want to upset. They want to shake things up.
But like,
there was nothing but oars on the Auburn depth chart, by the way, on the defensive side.
I saw Oklahoma, though. They didn't really have that many oars. And Oklahoma, straight up, Jay Knott, not a starter in week 1.
I respect it.
Yeah. Like, you don't have... And my whole thing is, like, I understand being careful about a depth chart in, like, May.
Yeah.
What are they going to do if they get upset the game week?
That's
like, the
thing
season's going
know.
on.
We know.
Yes.
No matter what you say, when you're giving it to us on Saturday morning,
yes,
4 hours later, we will know what the depth chart is because we will have watched the game.
And also,
which depth charts are overblown in that facet. So maybe you just feel like you mitigate some of that concern.
But also, you can't run from this because guess what? The snap counts are going to be available on PFF.com that next morning where it's like, hey, we could call you an or, but you played 8 snaps this Saturday against Syracuse. So are you really an or? Yeah. Like, are we really giving you like, hey, you're basically a starter?
I'd rather see availability report more so than a depth chart. Like, I want to see who's a questionable tag in these wide receivers or some of the defensive backs that we've talked about all summer long. Like, that's what I'd rather see. Like, I know all these defensive linemen are probably going to get sit snaps. I don't really care who starts, per se.
Yeah.
On the defensive line, you want to rotate those guys so they're fresh. I think some of the offensive line is going to rotate. You know, I don't think they're going to be set in stone necessarily, but I think this team's deep to where you want to get good players on the field, and we have a lot of good players.
They seem pretty healthy on defense, right? Like, I think Nathan Robinson, Jamal Wallace, those guys, I mean...
Well, Joseph has missed time, right? Like,
but, I mean, I think he's good. I think that's just precautionary.
Yeah, I got you.
Like, you got to be careful with him. But, I mean, if Herring and Jordan Ross are good to go, like, what does that look like at Leo? Like, how much do they push Josephs? How much do they move him around? I'm writing about this later today in terms of the Jordan Ross factor. Like, I think Caleb Herring might be your next Joshua Josephs, where it's, like, not a high sack number, but potentially a guy who can be pretty versatile in grade 12 PFF, but he's just not. That Jordan Ross is the one. If he breaks out the way he has the measurables and the potential to, I mean, this could be a special type of breakout year for him. I think the deck is open up for him, where if you have Josephs on one side and Ross on the other in the Rabbits package and key third downs, like Saturday might be a coming out party. If I had to like look around like who in the depth chart and who stands to have the biggest coming out party for Tennessee, it's Jordan Ross 1 and Colton Hood number 2. I think those two have a humongous opportunity to showcase what they can be for Tennessee for the next couple years.
Could West and Bailey play inside too?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have to, right?
I think West
Bailey especially can.
Bailey
West
can,
in pass rush situations.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like Bailey inside on early downs, yes. But on third down, you want to slide Tyree West in.
Are you going to hopefully just get pressure with 4, or are you hoping to see blitzing? And
I guess it just depends. I would, because Angeli is not a mobile dude, I'm blitzing. Like, I want to see how he reacts to Tennessee sending Jordan Ross.
Because I feel like our linebackers are better like blitzing than they are maybe in coverage or run stopping more so, right?
Well, I think it depends on who you're talking about. Like, Telander is good in the box, but he's not good in pass.
He's a tackling machine, yeah.
But Arian Carter, I think he was kind of shaky, I think, in pass coverage last year. I think he has the potential to be pretty good at it. Edwin Spillman, we have no idea. Like, I have no idea.
Spillman's the one I would predict to be, because I wouldn't say Telander or Carter were particularly good rushing the passer, right?
Yeah.
Spillman's the one I could see being pretty good rushing the passer.
Do you know what's weird about that, too, is like Beasley and Banks were electric rushing the passer. Like, they were really good linebacker pass rushers, and Tennessee really hasn't had that. Like, Peely was a great leader and a great player, but he wasn't really a great... We didn't see a whole season of him ultimately, but like Keenan Peely was not bringing the heat. He was a hard hitter, but he was not a elite linebacker pass rush specialist. So
his skill set very similar to T-Lander, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He was better than T-Lander was last year.
More athletic.
Yeah, a little bit. But generally speaking, I think good playing to run. He was probably a little better sideline to sideline.
Yeah.
Both those guys really good in the box, but not great pass rushers and not great in pass coverage.
And I will say on the show under review, we had a Syracuse guy on there, and Sam asked what position group he's most excited about or thinks is going to be the best, and he thought it was the wide receivers. So, with Jonte Cook, former 5-star kid, and a couple other guys, you mentioned high 4 stars transfer in and things like that. So I thought that was interesting considering you're down McCoy, what's Boo's situation. That I don't think it necessarily worries you so much because I don't think Angeli's just going to be able to sit back there and find those guys very easily. But I thought that was interesting to hear that even though they lost these big-time skill position guys, that they think they have a solid group coming back.
Well, I think you'll find out early. Like, Banks did not. He sent 4, and that's what crushed Tennessee against Georgia. Is they thought they'd be able to get home against Georgia's shaky offensive line.
Ole Miss, they were
but
letting
Ole Miss was blitzing. Ole Miss,
true.
they also had better.
And it was raining. It was terrible. Yeah.
But Walter Nolan and Princely and company, Walter Nolan in the interior was just crushing.
Yeah.
Georgia's Tennessee. Omar Norman Lott was a really good player, but he was not like Walter Nolan in the interior. And I do think Pete Golding was more aggressive than Banks last year, but Banks didn't have to be because Banks' secondary was so good that he was like, you'll have to slice and dice. You'll have to score. We believe that you will not be able to, you're going to make a mistake. We're going to make you take the entire length of the field. And we think Pierce can get home a couple times by himself or Omar Norman Lott, but we're not sending the house. That's not going to be our DNA. But that's what they did the first 2 years. Tennessee was a lot more of a boomer bust defense during the Banks era. Or the Jeremy Banks era, where he was just wrecking havoc and flying all over the place, and Beasley too. And I don't think you've seen that the last 2 years because Tennessee hasn't had to do that. I think you just have so much unknown on the defensive line this year. I think you're going to have to send 5 or 6 on key passing down. So I think my thing is I want to see if Steve Angeli is ready for some Tennessee heat, and I think it would be a mistake if Tennessee is not heavy blitzing early on to see how he reacts to it in a big-time environment where we expect a lot of Tennessee fans in the building, where I would be very, very aggressive. And that's part of why Boo Carter needs to be on the field early because I want Boo Carter off the edge at star. He's a great blitzing star guy. Boo Carter off the edge make you think.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm very curious.
I think it's just a lot of it's to be seen.
Oh, 100%.
I think you would say that Tennessee was very unproven in 2023, rushing the passer. They're going to have to blitz a lot, and then James Pierce turned into James Pierce, and Omar Norman wasn't what he was last year, but was still a good pass rusher from the interior. So you don't necessarily, not I'm saying guys are going to emerge like that, but you just don't know. That's the fun of college football. New guys pop up every single year that are unproven and take those steps. So you're right. They might have to be more of a blitzing team, but I'm not sure that they necessarily will either. I don't think that's a guarantee.
We'll find out because I think if it's dicey or Steve Angeli's dicing him up with Jonte Cook and company and he has all the time in the world, you're going to have to because that game, I don't know what the offense is going to be in if you're going to be able to win a shootout and that kind of deal. So we'll see. Ryan Shumpert, Tennessee recruiting, 4-star kid. I think he canceled his visit. Now he's back on in terms of the point guard aspect. But what can you tell us about the latest on Tennessee men's hoops recruiting this cycle?
Yeah, it's just starting to kind of get going as we get into a fall official visit season. The first one up is Miles Sadler, who will be here in 2 weekends, ETSU. And I think that's kind of where you start. The 2 positions Tennessee has really targeting guys they want for sure is point guard and wing. A bunch of names at both those spots. Sadler, Darren Rippey, another 5-star point guard. And then just a ton of names at wing. Bryson Howard we talked about him, I think, on the show a few weeks ago, son of Josh Howard, really high 4-star wing. Manny Green's another wing they're going after. Cody Peck is kind of a more of a power forward and not as big of a name that they're in on, but one that's supposed to visit. And then Jacob Weber, the kid from Nebraska who is playing his senior high school season at the La Lemire School in Indiana. So those are 2 positions I think you're seeing Tennessee put a real priority on right now. And then, just going to be a number of visitors at both those spots. And I think point guard's maybe the one I'm most interested in with the dynamic between Sadler and Rippey.
So what are we looking at take-wise? It's still too early to say? Or it seems like it'd be a shocker if it's not less than what they just took.
Yeah, I think so. It'll be less. I just think that's kind of where some of it changes. And I think the dynamics change a lot with 15 scholarship guys and with however you're going to end up being with whether you can pay players or not directly or outside of your I'm blanking on the term, the rev sharing.
Yeah.
Outside of rev sharing, are you going to be able to funnel booster money directly to players like you've been able to? Because that seems to go back and forth every day, whether that's going to be legal or not. So I think that aspect, if that's not legal and your payroll is going to be dramatically smaller, you're going to be maybe looking to take some flyers, high school kids that won't necessarily need a whole lot of NIL money, a lot of rev share money to come play for you. So that would, I think, would change the dynamic. But just as a whole, I would think 3 or 4. I would be surprised. I would be very surprised if Tennessee signs more than 3 in the fall. And I think 2 is probably more likely of what they take in the fall.
Who do you think it is? Is it a guard and a wing? Most likely. It doesn't seem like they're going to take a big this cycle.
Yeah, I think the big would be more likely to be a flyer type guy.
Interesting.
I think that would be most likely a point guard and a wing.
Because you're planning on JP and Dwayne Brown in 26, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think the thing with Dwayne Brown is he a 5?
Seems like, I mean, you might be able to get away if he's good enough defensively, him and JP. Like, there might be a scenario where they can play together.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a scenario where they can play together. I would worry about that lineup defensively. But I mean, they like Dwayne Brown a lot, and he's been a pleasant surprise. I just think he's kind of an old school guy, and his size and his game is more of a traditional college basketball power forward circa 2008.
Yeah.
Than he is a center. So, and look, you're going to have Cade Phillips back who can do some of that. They're going to have Jalen Carey back. So you're going to have versatility.
Oh, I forgot you can have Carey back for one more year. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of guys there. I mean, Felix is the only guy you're guaranteed to lose.
Yeah.
The one other name I'll throw in there too that I forgot about because it's a shooting guard, but the Josiah Jervis kid up from the Bronx in New York. Tennessee's really, really high on him. 4-star shooting guard who is visiting in October. It's really a big weekend to me. Rippey, Bryson Howard, and Josiah Jervis are all visiting the same weekend in late October. Howard's their top wing target. Rippey is one of their top point guard targets. And then Jervis is their top shooting guard target. So that's a big one to watch and a big weekend.
And he's a combo guy, so he might be the perfect one if you don't get one or the other, that you can just take him and he's a combo and you can see what the best spot is for him.
Tennessee thinks he's more of a shooting guard.
Interesting.
So could Henderson play point next year?
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Okay.
they brought Henderson in as a point guard.
I got
more
you.
It's by
Because Gillespie's got nothing left after this year, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Unless 5th year gets passed, but yeah, not unless that's the case.
But he'll be number 1 pick, right, Chase? Best point guard in the country.
I said he could absolutely be a first-team All-American. Like, something about this Braden Smith fella over there at Purdue, but doesn't.
He's pretty good.
TBD.
You want Purdue, don't you?
I would love Braden Smith versus Jacoby Gillespie in like an Elite 8 matchup. I say that now, but I don't want any part of Purdue. I say that now. That's absolutely not true at all. I don't want Purdue anywhere near. Yeah, I don't want any part of Purdue in the Elite 8. When we come back, we'll continue the Tennessee basketball conversation and also talk a little bit more college football outside of Tennessee and the lineup this week. So stick with us. It's the Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Hello, is Tina there?
Who's this?
Yeah, this is Vince from the hit reality show Wives Don't Tell. Tina applied for our show to confess that her husband won't go to the doctor to get his erectile dysfunction checked. She said she's ready for a guy that can bring the heat.
All right, what the hell is going on? You're talking to her husband right now? Tina!
Well, she wrote the application that her man's performance is questionable. She's basically married to a coffee table. She also said, we live within driving distance to Men's Pro Knoxville, but he's too scared to get a blood test.
Oh my, she is done. She is so done.
Gotcha, Mike. It's nephew Tommy. Ain't no reality show. It's a prank. Men's Pro Knoxville is the real deal, fellas. Local experts, test results in minutes. Call 865-544-8220 or hit men'sproKnoxville.com before your lady books a new co-star. Men's Pro Knoxville, making it happen.
If you're looking for a sports talk show that gets to the bottom of the biggest sports topics, then check out Under Review on Fan Run Radio. I'm Bob Baskerville, and every day Sam Beard and I cover the latest news on the Vols. We also widen our view to cover what's hot in the SEC. From local and national media pros to the coaches and players we all root for, we have the best guests and experts anywhere. So tune in weekdays from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on AM 1340, FM 105.7, or stream live on our free app. It's Under Review on Fan Run Radio.
Hey, folks, if you're in need of a lawyer, you need to call my friend Jerry Givens. I've known Jerry since high school and can personally vouch for him. He's East Tennessee through and through, and if you're going through a divorce, bankruptcy, or a DUI case, you'll need someone you can trust on your side to help you navigate the local legal system. You can trust Jerry Givens. Call the law offices of Jerry Givens today at 865-801-9250 to schedule your free consultation. That's 801-9250.
Citizens National Bank. You want a bank that lets you bank when and where you want to. Your local branch, the grocery store, your computer, your phone, it's up to you. You want people who care about taking care of you and your money too. Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. Ryan Shepard, Rocky Top Insider, in studio with us here on a Tuesday afternoon. Alex Sarkis and Brett Hollander on the ones and twos as well. Here, fellas, on the Tennessee hoop side of things, too. It sounds like, I mean, Brett asked about Troy Henderson and the point guard part of it, and it does feel like Tennessee. It seems like the buzz behind the scenes, Ryan, is that Tennessee definitely hit home runs with Henderson and Brown in terms of their evals.
Yeah.
Amari Evans, I think, could be that. We just don't know, really, ultimately, if he's a multi-year guy because he's still a top 50 player. And, like, is he...
He's a multi-year guy.
So
where Henderson and Brown are 3-4 year guys, you do wonder if Amari could possibly be a 2-year guy. He's more 2-3 years.
Do you think he came in with that expectation?
Yeah, I think so. He, which I think is one of the reasons he's a good fit at Tennessee. I think he understood what his game was and knew that he had a lot of room to grow on the offensive end.
Interesting. So it seems like all three now are multi-year guys. Of the three, who do you think, if you had to give some true serum to the entire Tennessee men's staff, who do you think they're most excited about long term?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say Brown. And I think the recruiting says some of that just from what we were just talking about. But I think the fact that you're seeing them explore ways to have lineups to play him when he is the fifth big man on the roster this year, I think is telling to how much they like him. I mean, Rick Barnes loves a big man that can score with his back to the basket, and I think Brown's that. He has good touch around the rim. But no, I mean, you could probably make an argument for all three of those guys. Or I think if you go through the line and talk to 8 people inside the Tennessee basketball program, you might hear someone say all three of those guys. Henderson, I think, from the standpoint of where they found him late, he wasn't a guy they had targeted super easy. Kind of fell in their lap with the Fordham coaching change. A guy that was going to Fordham, a guy that the day he committed to Tennessee, I don't think got a single recruiting profile on any single website, at least at the morning of that. I think from that perspective, it would maybe be him because I think he does project as a guy that's going to be a good multi-year player for them. And then I think Evans, has a chance to just what he can do on the perimeter defensively. I mean, a lot of recruiting scouts, recruiting experts, would said he was the best perimeter defender in the class. And obviously that fits really well to what Tennessee wants to do. And a good athlete who I think has room to grow and be a good offensive player as well.
And it's sneaky important for Rick Barnes' future at Tennessee, right? Like if he thinks he's hit home runs with Brown, Evans, and Henderson as core nucleus guys for the next couple of 3-ish years, that makes you feel better about Rick Barnes' time at Tennessee and that he might have 3 to 4 more years left, depending on where he sees what he thinks he can get out of Brown, Evans, and Henderson over the next couple of years, right?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly you'd feel better. I think, some of that, it's such a year-to-year sport that makes it maybe more sustainable over the next couple of years, even though that doesn't guarantee that those guys are going to be Tennessee's best players in any of the next 3 years even. But for sure, I do think the thing that I would say is, and tying this back to the recruiting question or recruiting conversation that's interesting with Troy Henderson is I think, Darren Rippey, he's a bigger point guard, 6'2", 175. We'll see. Tennessee's obviously getting a visit, but man, they're battling some true blue bloods there, and that feels like a really, really tough pool.
Is he a 1-year guy or a multi?
He's a 1-year guy, in my opinion. Miles Sadler, who I think is a multi-year guy, is 5'10". And I think that's the thing of, and this is just so far getting ahead of myself, but it's like, does Miles Sadler and Troy Henderson, can those two coexist on the court together? But I know Tennessee really likes Miles Sadler. I think Tennessee, I wouldn't say that they're the leader, but I think they're very much have as good as a chance as anybody, that type of thing. But that dynamic, I think, becomes really interesting.
5'10", 165. It's a small frame.
Yeah, for sure. Hard-nosed guard, very traditional point guard. Again,
what was Zakai?
Zakai. Well, what was Zakai, or what was Tennessee?
Was
what was he listed at?
Yeah.
Zakai was listed at, I believe, 5'9", and I do not think he was 5'9".
Yeah. It's one of those, I don't know, what he's listed at.
What does Evans do, though? Because he's also got Masamba there, Eaton Berg. Well,
that's the thing with all this.
Yeah, I know. But Brown at least has, I think, more potential because of who's leaving and things like that. And it's just a big.
Especially in this era, though, where if Brown develops, I mean, there's just not a lot of guys. If he develops like inside out and he's just kind of a guy you can toss in, like there's just not a lot. You saw how Oscar Tshiebwe just feasted, like in the SEC. Like if Dwayne Brown develops, I mean, even if JP Estrella takes that leap, there's just not a lot of guys who can do like Johnny Brown, like just could do whatever. Like it was just not a lot of guys who could defend those kind of bigs in this game. Like it's just, I don't know. I feel like it's easier if you're a really talented big who puts it all together. You can be extremely dominant.
Doesn't Brown feel like he's going to step in and be that Jalen Carey again? Just a size. I think
he has higher upside, right?
Higher upside?
Yeah, but I don't know if he has the positional versatility and just the raw strength and defense upside that Carey does. But offensively, I think he definitely has higher upside. Wow. And look, here's the caveat to all of this.
Yeah.
We're sitting here before these guys play the game. Most of the coaches are always going to like these guys at this time and like what they have. So while the reports are good, and for some of these guys there is a lot of buzz like that, we'll see what happens when games start rolling around. And you mentioned what a big class Tennessee brought in: Masamba, Berg, all those guys. Like you look at this freshman class plus Berg, because I guess Berg's technically a sophomore. It would stun me if all these guys are on the roster at time next year, because that's just not how college basketball works anymore. So, and to your point, a lot of those guys play the same position, so just naturally, there's probably not going to be.
Were you shocked at how many people he did bring in?
No, because they didn't have an answer a for sure answer at 2.
Yeah.
If they got Isaac McNeely and Rodney Rice, I don't think they're bringing in Clarence Masamba.
Yeah, it's true.
Edenberg. Yeah. But since they didn't, I think it's very much let's give ourselves as many options as possible, and hopefully one of these guys hits.
Hasn't the Berg pronunciation changed?
Yeah, he's going to go by Ethan Berg and not Eton Berg.
Yeah, which
it's like that guy. Speaking of Syracuse, I think they had a guy, Eton Thomas, who was a big as well when I was growing up. His name was Eton.
Was it? Are you talking about Eton Thomas, like the Washington Wizards legend Eton Thomas?
Yeah, it wasn't Eton.
I don't think it was Eton.
Okay, we don't have to go down this rabbit hole.
I think it was just Eton.
That's what came to mind.
Yeah,
he was a good player in college. I remember.
Yeah, I mean, he hung around for a little bit with the Wizards. Remember him?
I don't keep up with Wizards basketball. Like,
no,
is that part
you're not
of
reading the blogs? Like,
yeah.
You know what? I'm not going to take this.
You don't do this for the NBA. You don't do this for the NBA too, do you?
Yeah, everything. Peachtree Hoops, Bullets Forever.
He does it for the MLS.
I do.
Wow.
MLS / Premier League, but yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I completely made that up.
But
I didn't even think Chase would stoop that low to claim that one.
I don't like not keeping up. I'm called the sports renaissance man. I am all encompassing, Ryan Shumpert. I don't like not being in the
Preds updates.
He does do Pred stuff. I actually will believe. I actually do 100% believe that.
Okay. Nice.
I don't miss a Hawks game. Read all the pieces, but yeah, go start a blog, folks. I'll read it. Guess what? If you're a sports fan and you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna do a blog, do a blog. I'll read it. I promise. It will go in my Google Sheets that I showed Ryan here during the break.
It does.
It'll be in the Google Sheets and it will get read.
It does make me laugh to think that Chase is getting his information on all these teams not from like established beat writers, but just fan bloggers. Which isn't to say fan bloggers can't be really good, because they can be, but I think you kind of get a wide a wide range.
Hold
of
on.
info
Hold
there.
on. Part of that, and I do read the AJC cover to cover every day, and I read the Knoxville News Sentinel from cover to cover every day.
This stuff can't possibly be true because there's not enough time in the day.
It's not that it doesn't take that long. How slow of a reader are you? That's what we're learning here. Is
Knoxville News Sentinel front to back, AJC front to back, every single story on every single MLB.
I don't get to every
NFL
story of
game.
every MLB team, and it's also they're the only one in season right now. So I read there's certain newsletters that go through every single game and then has links for the Associated Press. Associated Press is like a solid 2.5 minutes to get through the game or there for each team.
I really
2
hope,
hours
I really
radio.
hope you're not reading like Pirates recaps.
Oh,
or going
100%.
through-
What do you
Are
mean? Bucks
actually-
dugout? Yeah.
You are a Bucks dugout guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
See?
That's unbelievable to me.
Capital B, capital K, bald knower.
Okay,
Over
that's
here.
actually good pull.
Wow.
I still don't believe this to the extent that you're selling it because I just don't think there's enough time in the day.
There is. When you don't golf, Ryan Shepard, as much as you do you know what I spend? I'm grinding the tape, and not even the tape, grinding the blogs. I'm in the blog.
not the tape.
I'm in the blogosphere, but that's how it is. I love. You know what I love? A good column. Some guys like to go. I love to walk, and then I walk and read. I do other stuff. Like everyone's like, oh, who's that traffic hit from Knoxville, Tennessee? Why is he reading about FCS football here on our on our Montana Grizzlies page? It's me.
That's just not.
It's just me. What?
That's just not happening.
What do you mean it's not happening? I'm telling you it's happening.
Yeah, like a liar.
What?
You just pulled Bucks dugout. I believe
That
you.
is a great pull.
That's
but I
unbelievable.
will also say Bucks dugout, incredibly impressive pull. Different than saying you're reading about Montana football.
I want to keep up with the Grizz. Delaware just moved up to CUSA. I'm a Blue Hen guy. Like I want to make sure I'm locked and loaded on Blue Hens football.
About to get tested.
Yeah, I mean,
who is Montana's football coach?
Ooh, it's a good question.
Oh no,
that's not fair. Because I know Montana
just
State's.
said-
I know Montana State's coach off the top of my head. Oh my goodness, who is Montana?
Who's Montana State then?
I knew you were going to do this. He was on the program a couple of years ago. Viren?
You just said
I
you
know.
knew him off the top of your head.
I know. I didn't think you called me on it.
Everybody, we busted him.
No, Brett Vegan. Yeah, Brett Vegan. I knew it.
You
You
looked
just
it up.
looked that
You-
up.
you
I
was
said
looking
vegan.
at it.
I said vegan. That's what I was saying. And I was like, I don't remember his first name, but he was on the program. He was on my podcast like 3 years ago. Great dude. Had the Delaware's football coach on my podcast a couple years ago. I know ball. You can go after.
No. You do.
Here's what's
you
happening.
do know ball. I am not disputing that. You are claiming that you. The amount of reading you are claiming you do on different sports every day is there's just not enough time in the day.
I
for it.
average 7.5 hours of reading a day.
That is crazy.
That's unbelievable.
If that is the case, then I think it's a lot more plausible.
That's what I do. It's like you're on the links for 3 to 3.5 hours. Imagine cutting that out and then doing 3 to 3.5 hours to read in the blogs.
I mean, maybe these things are shorter stories. Maybe you are a significantly faster reader than me because
Yeah.
I don't think I could hit all this stuff in the amount of time that you are. The amount of free time that I have in the day.
Hey, you got to dive in here, man. you got to jump in here. It's a great time. It's a great time. But I will say I would read more newspaper columnists and stuff if I got the subscriptions. Part of what if I was a millionaire, this is the nerdiest thing I would do if I ever won the lottery. The first thing I would do, and my wife's eyes would roll back in her head when she's like, "What do you want to do?" And I'm like, I actually want to become a subscriber to every single Substack and newspaper all across the United States and have free access to all of it. It's not free, but it is something that I would love to do.
You'll appreciate this. I get emails every single day from the Orange Beach newspaper because when I was doing the Lane Kiffin story, I was trying to access a story they had on the USC coaching search in 2009.
Uh-huh.
So I bought a subscription for 1 month, canceled it, but I still get email the newsletter every single day.
Love it. I love my newsletter. Team Ziller, NBA stuff. One of my favorite NBA bloggers of all time, SB Nation Zone. I read it all. Love it. It's great stuff. We got Roberto on the line here, friend of the program. Roberto, how's it going, my friend?
Really good. 7.5 hours a day. I'm not gonna lie, man. I've got a great guy who can really help you through that. He's a licensed professional. God, like you can always tell the guys who they just have FU money. You clearly do because 7.5 hours. Some of us have to work for a living.
I do. Hold on.
You know what I mean?
It's the morning and evening is the time to do it. Is when wife goes to sleep. Guess what? From 10:30 to about 1:30.
Chase is not a sleeper.
No.
I will say that too.
Yes.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, he can't be, because at some point, it was 7.5 hours a day. There is no sleep.
But it also, here's the other thing. This is another just extremely nerdy thing about me, Roberto. My wife just, it never makes sense to her. It doesn't compute. But reading relaxes her, and like she'll like after a while she'll like start to exactly. You're the same way.
Yeah.
It energizes me. Like she can tell if I've been reading for an hour and a half because my brain is firing at all cylinders, and I'm just like ready to go run a marathon after reading like 7 blogs, and it's just like, what is it? Chase?
Well, here's a good question that I have now. How good of like a student were you in school? How well did you do on the reading ACT? Because I don't understand how you could read about all these different topics in a day and retain it.
Well, part of reading, I mean, retaining is, I mean, so this is going to be really, this is so pretentious, but the difference between like when people say I read books and it's like an audiobook, like you don't retain. So like podcasts are great and everything else, but you generally speaking, the way the brain,
unless you're an auditory learner like I am.
But it's still, that studies show that it's still when you are physically holding a
that.
book and reading one line by line, it requires, the way they phrase it is like, because if you can drive down, you cannot read a book and drive down the road. You can listen to a radio show and listen to an audiobook and drive down the road. You are not using every part of your brain to focus and retain. Like it's just, you can't do it.
Maybe you need to start doing that so you don't get hyperactive brain.
Roberto, I am who I am, man.
I'm trying to help you, man. I mean, you're like the most extroverted dork I've ever met in my life.
Oh my God.
Help me help you. No. You know what? If you have time to read 7 to 7.5 hours a day, more power to you, brother.
Can I tell you, this was like the early part of the pandemic, right? Where it's just no sports are on. Like there's nothing going on, you know?
You were just living.
I will tell you the amount of time I spent for that first month by myself at the park, just reading my books. Like I got through so many books that I had they were on the shelves that I had not had time to get to because I'm reading, you know me, reading the articles, reading the blogs, keeping up to date on all the current up to date sports stuff. But I did just clear through a preposterous amount of reading material over the first couple months there. And it was nice because I didn't have to feel guilty about it because there was no other sports on. So I was having a great time.
This is another great question to try to get to how this is possible. You mentioned earlier reading the book on the Patriots dynasty right now.
Yes.
How long is it like taking you to read? Let's just say, for instance, this is like a 250-page book.
Oh, it's way more than that. This one, The Dynasty by Jeff Benedict, is like 500 plus. This one will take me a little bit longer. But I also will say I'm able to clear fiction way faster than nonfiction. Nonfiction, you read slower because you're retaining more. Fiction with dialogue and everything else. Like I can read a Will Leach book very quickly. I can read a John Grisham book in 2 days. It depends on
grief, man.
Yeah, but
how long for a sports nonfiction 300-page book?
300, probably 4 days. 500, what I'm doing right now, 5 to 6.
This is just it's physically. You're either one of the fastest readers and smartest people at retaining information in the entire world, or this is not possible at the rate that you are claiming.
Okay,
I think it's possible. I also think you need psychological help.
I think that's. I don't think that's
back to reality with the rest of us. If you're spending, you're okay. Lovingly, because I really like you. You're spending damn near a full-time job a week reading.
I mean, that would be my
healthy man.
The dog.
Yes.
And you're doing a podcast. And
yes.
You're hosting a radio show.
Reading box scores.
But
watching the YouTube breakdowns of every NFL game.
This is why my natural stuff is.
Football too.
This is why I'm a no guy. Like, hey, Chase, you want to go? No, I don't. Chase, you want to go? No, I don't. Hey, Chase, can you be it? No, I won't be there. Because you know what I'm doing?
At the baseball game with as much you read. I'm surprised I didn't see you with with Green Lights by
Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, I read it. It's a good book.
That's a fantastic book.
It's a good book.
I'm in the midst of it right now. I will tell you, I've read it cover to cover as a hardback book or like a paged book, and I'm listening to it now. He narrates it.
Yeah.
On auto, it's so much better.
Interesting.
And maybe that's just because I'm an auditory learner and I'm more of like I want to be involved in people's conversations, right? So it's almost like he's telling you about his life. It's his memoirs, basically, right? And I I don't know, man. It's just so much better listening to him. He's like, all right, the whole time, you know? And he has a whole, you remember in the book, he has a whole chapter devoted to that line and how it changed his life, which is pretty cool.
And he opens up, man. He's very personal about his upbringing, his parents' relationship, all that. Yeah, no, it's a good.
Yeah, it's very interesting and also a bit disturbing. The people in Australia, that part was very disturbing. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Well, anyways, I just wanted to weigh in and just tell you, man, you can come back to Earth with the rest of us and hang out in reality. You can stay in your books. I don't care, but I'm going to tell you, I just wanted to let you know that you're spending a full-time job. You can have 2 jobs. You can make twice as much money. You ever thought about that? You make twice as much money.
But part of the love. Oh, my wife just chimed in. She's not about it.
Oh yeah.
The wife just texted. She's tuned in. She's not happy about the reading eggs. This is great. But it just look, man. It's just I have my priorities. I have my daily planner. I make sure my number one deal is being a good husband and spending time with my wife.
The wife's listening to the show now. We can promise.
You better go.
Does this count as time with your wife because she's listening to the show?
No,
does that count?
I love my wife dearly, and I love spending time with my wife. I sent Ryan a very funny video of my wife and I last night where she looked over to me and was like, I don't know how to say this, but it looks like you're wearing a bald cap. And it was really funny because I still, to this 24 hours later,
in the day,
just don't understand what that meant. But it was extremely funny because I'm a bald man, and I was like, it's not a bald cap. It's just the way it is. As you know, Roberto, it's our plight in life. But it's no, you have your interests, you know, like some people are big golfers or do all kinds of other stuff. And for me, I do is
I'm trying to figure out where I can recover 7.5 hours a day of my life.
You have to sleep less. I will tell you, there is a caveat. Like it is part of the deal. You have to take advantage of the sleep hours.
God's honest, hand on a Bible, how much do you sleep?
I probably still get 7. I'd probably still get 7, maybe 6 to 7.
There's no way that's physically.
6 to 7.
There's no way.
There's not enough hours in the day.
I do 1:30 to 8:30. I do 1:30 to 8:30.
You are now lying.
No, I do 1:30 to 8:30 because look, I do 10. So look, my mornings start from 8:30 to about, and when I leave here to go to work, it takes about like 8:30 to 12:30. So I have about 4-hour window, and most of that is planning the show, but also reading. And part of the planning the show is reading pieces and reading all my Tennessee stuff that I got to do. But I am reading a whole heck of a lot. And then at night, I've got about 3 hours to play with. And that's the other part, the majority of those 3 hours. So I'm saying, like, of those 7, like, it's probably not exactly 7 to 7.5 every day.
So you don't watch like any TV then at all?
I watch it with my wife.
That's when I watch a lot of TV
with my wife.
Again, does not make sense.
Hold on, I watch it with my wife. Like that window is like I watch movies with my wife. I watch TV with my wife. Like that's part, and then we hang out. We do our walks. We take Khaleesi the dog. We talk about our day. We do everything we got to do. But yeah, no, we eat dinner together.
Living.
Say it again,
buddy. I'm telling you what.
Yes.
I'm proud of you, man. You are a good husband too. You actually talk to your wife. That's a win.
I love my wife's my best friend.
I was trying to figure out when this communication with my wife stuff happened, but you're saying it, so I believe it.
It's great. She's my best friend.
He's sleeping 7 hours a day. He's hosting a radio show. He's hosting a podcast. He's reading for 7.5 hours.
He's blogging.
He's walking with the dog every day.
7 hours a day. I read 7 hours a day.
He's watching
eat
TV
19 hours a day.
He's eating 3 meals. He's spending time with his wife.
Man.
So good. Well, hey, guys, on one sports thing, and by the way, Chase, I really appreciate you being that vulnerable. Brene Brown would be very proud of you right now.
We had a Brene Brown poll on the show today.
I wanted to let you guys know that I'm super pumped about this football season, and congrats to everybody involved. You made it. I'm proud of you guys, and I'm happy for you. I'm proud of me, and I'm happy for us. Let's go have a great weekend watching some football.
Heck yeah.
There you go. Appreciate the call, Roberto. When we come back, we'll talk Tennessee football. We'll talk best and worst QB rooms in the SEC this year. Fantastic stuff here as we wrap up on a Tuesday afternoon. It's The Chase right here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app.
Congratulations. You found sports radio that doesn't suck. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, And you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Attention service members and veterans. Introducing the Griffin Law Firm, your trusted ally in military legal matters. From court martials to benefit claims, at Griffin Law, your mission is their mission. Here's VFL Marshall Griffin.
As a veteran and retired military attorney, I've successfully defended lifelong benefits and helped preserve professional futures. So I know that when you hire a military justice lawyer, you maximize your chance to get relief. With my unique experience, I can advocate for you because there's no military matter that's too big or too small. Let us help you make these critical decisions that could affect the rest of your life. Remain silent. Request counsel. Call Griffin Law.
For a free consultation, call 888-707-4282. That's 888-707-4282. Or just visit griffinlawdefense.com.
Are you tired of trying to squeeze your dental appointments in on your lunch break or before you go to work? Here at Knoxville Smiles, we're all about making going to the dentist easier. That's why we're now open until 7 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. To take advantage of our new evening hours, make your appointment now at knoxvillesmiles.com or just call us at 865-539-1776. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Hi, I'm Bo Cregner with the Cregner Group at Realty Executives. You know, the real estate market, like all other markets impacted by the economy, is changing all the time. And it's never been more important to be personally represented by a trusted real estate specialist. I can't emphasize enough how important it is when selling or buying to be individually represented. Call me today for a free consultation. My number is 865-742-1035 and my website is bonowshouses.com.
Hey Knoxville! Surfside iced tea and vodka, made with real brewed tea, is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, with no bubbles and no troubles. That's right, zero carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. Headed to a game day or party at a friend's house? Bring an iced tea or lemonade variety pack from Surfside, or try their green tea and new raspberry tea vodka. Find the can with the sunset stripes this season. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sold at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Surfside iced tea and vodka, sunshine in a can. Must be 21 or older. Enjoy responsibly.
Here on Fan Run Radio, Fox Sports Knoxville, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and always streaming for free on that Fan Run Radio app. We're laughing because I just informed Ryan Shepard of another dorky thing about me that Roberta will also appreciate, but I use the Pomodoro technique because our brains are only wired to pay attention for 25 minutes max straight. So throughout the day, I break up my day, and I showed Ryan I break up my, whether it's working, reading, whatever, 25 minutes, and then the timer goes off. And then I stand up, I eat something, walk around 5 minutes, and then I go back for another 25 minutes straight. Because the brain is not wired to study, do things like, that's how I got through grad school with all the stuff I was doing. UT was like, I just need to get up and walk around. I'd be over there in, what is that building? It's not Haslam. What's the Hodges Library?
Oh yeah.
Where I get up and I take a lap for 5 minutes, and then I go back in my cubicle.
It's a good lap library.
You know what I will
say? It's a great
say,
lap library.
In my time, I'm a junior. In my time as a student in Tennessee, I have been in Hodges Library twice.
Really?
That's crazy.
I was there every Sunday during grad school.
I'm not a guy that enjoys, you know what? I hate to say this, but I've never really studied hard for anything in my life. I like, people have always talked about, it's going to be harder in high school. It's going to be harder in college. It's never been harder.
Okay.
You are a journalism major.
That's a good point.
Speaking from a journalism major.
Very good point. Very good point. But
not the most.
I don't know.
The hardest.
Weird.
You still got to get through core. There's still, you got to do some math. Did you do any calculus?
No.
Okay.
I almost failed my senior year math class. And
okay.
That would have, that
would
was
have
the
been
last
a problem.
math class that I took. Well, I took one in college. But
I was going to say,
but just one so far. So I don't know if I have any more left. I hope not, because I'm not a math guy.
Yeah. There's not a better feeling in college academically than finishing up your core classes.
Yeah.
Which again, what a scam. Colleges are pulling off of core classes. Oh wow, I really used that calculus class that I took in college. I used that information a lot. What would I have done without that geology class I had to pay for?
But what would you actually take, Ryan Shepard, if you had it your way?
I would just have them let me take classes dedicated to my major and graduate earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I kind of liked different.
Well, you're a Renaissance fan.
Yeah. I will tell you the things that I'm not good at. Geometry. It's tough. High school getting through geometry was hard. Not a physics guy. That part of my brain is harder. I like biology, but yeah, physics, all that kind of stuff. Not the only math I liked was statistics. That's about it.
What did you major in?
Journalism.
Okay.
But my master's
is in
master strategic and digital communications. But yeah.
Very cool.
Brett, how were you in school?
Terrible.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't not very good.
Interesting.
I went to King in Bristol. It was King College. Now it's King University.
Isn't that at Powell now, or is that a different thing?
What?
Isn't there a King's College?
There's a
in Powell?
satellite now, but I went to the actual
okay.
campus up in Bristol.
Okay.
I played soccer up there.
How was that?
It's a very small school. So
Yeah.
it was like barely 500 kids, I think.
Really?
Maybe even less than that when I was there.
How many did you graduate with?
Maybe like 75, 100.
That's wild. So everybody knows everybody.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Very small campus. Every building, one building had all my classes pretty much. So yeah.
That's what I had for undergrad in North
very
Georgia.
Small. I wouldn't have survived going to a big school, I don't think.
I mean, I'm right there with you.
Plus I wanted to continue to play soccer.
What position do you play?
In college I played midfield.
Okay.
So I was just up and back.
Okay.
So
what do you do now?
I continue to coach soccer and things.
Oh,
like
so you
that.
don't play? I thought you still played.
Oh, I still play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Adult league. Yeah.
So what do you play in the adult league?
It's like 7v7. So there's not really. I'm still going up and down because I'm one of the younger ones on my team, which isn't saying much, but I am.
Are you an intense coach, Brett?
Yes.
I could see that.
I have
no doubt in my mind.
A very bad mouth. Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I'm very intense. Very competitive.
Officials?
Oh, well, I've calmed down. I've had to. I've got to know, you're too old for this. There's no sense in yelling. You're not winning anything.
Yeah.
Things like that. But
do you have a pull me back guy?
What's
Do you have a pull me back guy?
I've had, yes. Yeah.
This is incredible.
But I still go to it's called the Beer City Cup, in Asheville, North Carolina. I haven't been in a couple seasons, but yeah, once you're playing for a trophy or something, it's no holds bar for me. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Very intense.
I gotta hear this. Because I guarantee you.
You saw how fired up I got talking with you last week.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine that times a couple more.
Wow.
Yeah. No,
Brett over here. Nothing but flames. I gotta see this in person. I want to see Brett coaching in person. Bring out the big guns.
Start having some press conferences on the radio.
That'd be great. We'll get some reports. I mean, are there games this fall?
For me?
Yeah.
It's harder now. My daughter plays. So I'm doing a lot of a lot of soccer practices, games, things like that. So it's harder for me to play this time of year right now during the fall and stuff. So Fair gets busy with soccer right now.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, let's go around the room here. College football game that you're most excited about outside of the Tennessee game this weekend, Ryan Schembert. Which one is it for you?
I think just to keep it from the obvious ones, I guess. And some of this is skewed by what I'm going to be able to watch a lot of, because that's the downside of my job is I don't get to watch a ton of these games on Saturdays. But I'm really fired up for Auburn Baylor on Friday night. I think that's one that I'm really. I mean, it's obviously such a make or break season for Hugh Freeze at Auburn. I'm curious to see what they look like. And Chase, you said it last night that Baylor's your pick to win the Big 12, and obviously the Big 12 is just super wide open. So I think we'll have a better feel for whether Baylor's a true player in that or not after Friday night.
I like that one. What about you, Alex?
Well, the homer in me has RMU at West Virginia because I need to see Rich Rod back in the blue and gold. I'm pumped for that. But on a realistic note, I'm going to go TCU in North Carolina Monday night, 8 p.m., start of the Bill Belichick era. So I think that one's going to be really cool to see how everything goes there. They got the new turf installed. So, yeah, I'm excited for that one.
New turf?
Or did they did something to the field, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah. He made them change. I don't know if they changed it to grass or they changed it to turf.
Interesting.
But he made them make a switch to the playing surface.
New England was turf, I believe.
So I think he had to change it to turf. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. And I mean, it's be careful what you wish for Bill Belichick. It's like you're by yourself now. Everyone in America will be tuned in for TCU,
I'm so
North Carolina.
interested to just see how. I mean, it feels almost like an experiment to me. I'm so interested to see what it looks like.
It's going to be very jarring to see
Yeah.
Bill Belichick roaming a college football sideline.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it'll be fun because I think that's going to be a really good game. Brett, what about you?
I think I'm looking. I don't think it'll be much of a game, but I'm interested in Ty Simpson, Alabama, what they do on the road against Florida State. It's a big year for DeBoer. It's a big year for Mike Norvell. What Florida State any different, or is this going to be a terrible season for them? But yeah, I think I'm interested in what Ty Simpson does in his first start for Bama. Maybe not his first start, but definitely the biggest moment of his young career. So I'm interested in that one on Saturday afternoon, actually.
I'm actually right there with you. That's the game that I'm most curious about the result. Is it close or is it a blowout? Because what is the vibe in Tallahassee where you're coming off a 2-10 year where everything went awry, but you also should have been in the playoff 2 years ago? If you get crushed by Alabama in the opener at home, like Doak's been undergoing renovations and it's now fully operational, I believe. Like they're going to be jumping for this game. Thomas Castellanos talking a lot of smack this summer. If Bama just rolls in there and they look like Nick Saban, Alabama, and just stomp Florida State out of the gate, like what are the vibes there? Are we like, oh, this is it? Like Norvell's actually cooked here. And the guy who was almost the Alabama coach, he was like in the running, is now potentially like on the outs at Florida State. Like Florida State's gonna be kind of jarring too, because I kind of want to see what Squirrel and Jason Jenkins and Elijah Herring look like. I mean, they have 3 Tennessee starters, ex-Tennessee players starting for their team this year. But yeah, I have no idea what Florida State is going to be ultimately. But if they get crushed by Bama in the opener, then I feel like there's going to be a strong like, this one just might be over here. Or they play it really close. And you're like, okay, Florida State, it was a blip, and Florida State might be okay here. Like Florida State.
I would say, to the reverse side, I think it would say a lot more about Alabama than it would Florida State if that game's close.
I could see it. Well, that will do it for this edition of The Chase. Thank you to Ryan Shumpert of Rocky Top Insider. Thank you to Alex Sarkis. Thank you to Brett Hollander. The Drive, Russell Smith, and The Bear is up next. Chase is back tomorrow at 1 p.m. with Ryan Sylvia. Have a wonderful afternoon, East Tennessee.